already know what the video is about, at least on the surface, but this is going to be about something a lot more important. But I want to point out again, if I say something about the Republican Party, you can say it about the Democratic Party, but not the same thing. You really do have to go look for what they're actually guilty of. I used to criticize them a lot more. But every time you see in the Republican Party all of them getting behind an idea like certain groups of people shouldn't read stories or shouldn't be a certain way for certain reasons and conditions, and then all of a sudden it's okay as long as it's one of their own, they don't have any consistent way of viewing the world around them or the way they want the world run. They just want it run to benefit them. It has nothing to do with the subjects they bring up, and you should assume that they have no integrity on the subject if they aren't consistent. And I'm saying that also about liberals, even myself. So let's move forward. Here's the newspaper page that was brought up, and that's the image we're going to zoom in on. There's another image with him apparently on a float, but I don't have that right now. This is the zoom in, and the important thing is to pay attention in general what you see in the image. Earrings, this dress, the appearance. And then you get this. And that's the same person. And that is supposed to be George Santos. Now, this is a cheap shot, but here we go. Now, it's not so much that an AI routine tried to figure this out and probably match them up. The facial characteristics for George Santos when he was younger and wasn't wearing glasses very closely matches this person. Just get that out of the way. It's not, you don't need an AI about it. It's very likely him. It could also not be. But at this point, the next part's important. Literally everything about George Santos' entire history has been lied about, and he has set up at least 2 or more Wikipedia accounts to edit the page, and specifically removing his middle name, because Anthonydevolder is a pseudonym for George Santos. It's his 2 middle names. That's why he uses it as a pseudonym. And there's more than one account like that that have been used to edit. And then one of them just called Anthonydevolder had been set up in the past, and it's actually noted here. And I'm just going to bring up copies of it. These are archived now. Someone besides me archived these, I think. It doesn't matter who did it. But anyway, the point is, he claimed to be of European background, which is something that you see written up, but 1 out of, 8 relatives in the past was from Europe. He's Brazilian. Next, he has his birth date up here, called himself Anthonydevolder, and a gay night club drag queen. Okay. And then you can see the time here is 2:36, and it was on the 29th of April 2011. So 2:36, and we go forward at 2:43, and he put up his own personal bio here, and it has no changes until this year. So it's up there for more than a decade with him being an editor on Wikipedia, and you could look up special contributions and what he's given and what he's talked about. Anyway, he had the same thing in here, and he also claimed to be in a movie called The Invasion, that he said his very first movie he taped, Uma Thurman, etc., and a couple of other things he claimed. Also, he met Hollywood producer for Independence Day, etc., yada, yada. He's been lying since a long time ago, or at least making up a fake history. Again, if he's running around with a pseudonym and dressed as a woman, he's going to create a fake biography for himself that he presents people. If they ask him about his personal life, you can either A, that's private, or B, give them a bullshit story so that they can't hurt you. So I understand from the standpoint of dealing with people who have a past. I go under the name Whack Tech, for instance. I don't have any room to talk. Okay? I'm not going to put up my full real name. Not because you'd look up something and find anything interesting. It's because I don't want anybody finding my relatives, because my relatives have been threatened in the past, and this is something documented, including with a couple of actual police reports. But the point is, I don't tell everybody everything about my past, but in the past, to fill in the space that people kept asking about, I would give them not my real background. And if they ask why I lied to them, I'd say, because you wouldn't shut up about asking me. But I don't know if our Anthonydevolder here should be given that kind of leeway. Now that he's a public person, out and proud as it is, he should just tell the truth. He could just say, yeah, I lied about my history because I'm a boring person, and then give an accurate, rendition of his history. And he's Brazilian, and he's an immigrant. Let's move forward. This is what happened. Someone blanked it only this year. It's been up for more than 10 years, and suddenly it's an issue. No, it's because it's in the news. They're made aware of it, and technically, this is not something you put on a Wikipedia page unless you're editing. And I'm going to bring up whatever edits he did. He may have none. I don't see any. Let's move forward. This is what the video is about. Well, what's this? This is the talk page discussing erasing his page. There was never an entry under the talk page. He never even had one violation complaint. Not even a person even commenting to him on his user page. Till just recently. I want to point out something. I have a user page on Wikipedia. My user page was set for speedy deletion because all it had was me mentioning I'm going to be editing on Wikipedia, and if you need to contact me, you can't use an email, and I won't be monitoring the Wikipedia article, but you can contact me at this link. And it was a link to a personal page. That's a violation of the rules they had. And I understand that. But they didn't say that I was, quote, posting something that would be offensive or was insulting. You see, someone here isn't editing this because this is legitimately, not how you're supposed to have your page. It's because he's a famous person who did it. Period. Also, I should point out that because he's been using a bunch of other sock puppet accounts instead of that one to go through and edit his own Wikipedia page, he violated the rules of editing his own page, and they're basically going after all the sock puppet accounts, which makes that the reason they should do. You've been indefinitely blocked for editing because this is one of your sock puppet accounts and you've been banned before. That's what it should say. No, it says other things, including your name is insulting. It's a pseudonym or a hidden joke or an insult. No, you're blanking the page for none of those reasons. You're blanking the page because George Santos had a Wikipedia page and it made you guys look like a bunch of fools. So what is this Wikipedia? Why am I going on about these people? This means that the Wikipedia admins are trying to erase some very embarrassing data. They're erasing this shitstorm, this catfight, this bureaucratic fuckery going on Wikipedia where people are gatekeeping the good name of Wikipedia. That's what's going on here. And these individuals here are probably excluded from the argument. And there's some more deletions. Yeah. So I'm archiving this shit. This is going to take a while. Now, I want to point out a couple of things here. Why would I be going after Wikipedia? Wikipedia, depending on how you think about things, is extremely liberal bent. Okay. What's the Republican Party going to do now? They're the ones that are screaming about trans people and drag queens and story times. And now someone in their party is doing it. Of course they're going to have a double standard. On Wikipedia, they're all about liberals and blah, 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 and embracing things and diversity. They keep putting up diversity banners and shit. And someone shows up who's a literal political person who's a drag queen in his past and left evidence of it, and they're deleting it. It's okay only when we do it. It's not okay when anybody else. Your username is a well-known living individual. It's a violation. No, that's not the reason. Blanked after 11 years. In here, eventually you see the note, we're deleting it because you're insulting or disgusting. So yeah, on one end of the spectrum, we have a double standard, and they're going to stick with the double standard. Don't you ever get the idea that they really believe what they say. On the other end, we have this. Now I'm going to bring up something simple. Why is George Santos the way he is? Okay, let's do a simple perspective. He spent over a decade lying. I mean, in 2011, he was lying about being in movies. Why? Here's a terrible revelation. George Santos is extremely boring. No, I'm not kidding. I bet I spent too much time in Portland. He's extremely boring. He's average. He has nothing about him that's exceptional or that would stick out. He's the kind of guy who could quite literally walk into the Pentagon and no one would notice. Make a great hacker. He's literally the everyman if he wanted to be. He doesn't want to be. Number one. Number two, he doesn't trust anybody if they get to know him. I doubt that anybody has any personal emotional connections with this guy. Next, I've seen this a lot. Young and old. He doesn't trust the world. Something really bad must have happened to that guy at one point. And this is when he was looking and acting happiest. Obviously, it's different now. He wouldn't want to be this anymore, right? So, okay, let's skip all that because it's not relevant. This is what he is now. He wants to be a politician. He wants to be interesting and famous and have power. And he's a freaking grenade ruining an entire political party partially here. Just one more nail in their coffin. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. Again, the real subject matter of this is not him or even the Republican Party. It's this bureaucratic fuckery like this. I had my user page taken down for the same reason, put back up when I actually appealed and said I didn't know the rules, because I didn't. But this kind of stuff here I've seen on articles where I can't edit because they'll block me immediately. Not because I've done something wrong, but because they're gatekeeping it. Someone is gatekeeping the reputation of Wikipedia here, and I'm going to archive every bit of this catfight. Because I have a vengeful attitude towards them because they banned me once. But yeah, they banned me because I edited something like an idiot, didn't know what I was doing, broke a page, didn't destroy the server, but I broke something. It looked like I did it intentionally. And two, because I told them they needed to loosen up a bit because all we're trying to do is make better articles. And that made somebody angry who was eventually banned for being a bureaucratic fuck. Just saying. So, again, it's not really about him. It's not even about me. It's not even about this vengeful video. It's about our habit, even on Wikipedia, of revising history and making things the way we wish they could be instead of acknowledging what really happened. And by the time I refresh this page, there's going to be a bunch of deletions here because these people are going to not want this evidence left around. This isn't my first rodeo on Wikipedia. But yeah, to answer your questions, he doth protest too much. He was obviously a drag queen at one point. And that I wouldn't hold against him. It's not relevant. It's that you should realize that he doesn't trust anybody. He doesn't have the confidence for it. He's missing something. And that's sad. But yeah, blanked after 11 years. Why? Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Thanks for watching my